Hey guys, we are finishing up our How to Manifest series, and today we're going to talk about how we can use the power of manifestation with our fitness, with losing weight, with doing daily exercise, and how we can easily incorporate an exercise routine with manifestation as a whole. Let's dive in. Hey guys, it's Ashley from the AwakenState.net, and today we're going to talk about how we can use manifestation with a fitness routine, with daily exercise, or how just you can use it for daily goal setting. So this has been one of those pivotal shifts that I've really made in terms of being committed and consistent with exercise, and I don't want to say necessarily losing weight so much, but it's helped me a lot with staying committed and consistent to exercise. And I think that's an important distinction, because a lot of the times when we think about manifestation, sometimes when we just want to manifest for fitness, it can be just about losing weight. But for me, it was more so about being consistent, staying persistent, and really making it into a habit. So how have I really used it in terms of using manifestation? Well, let's go back to manifestation is really about mindset. When we really talk about manifestation, it's not about wishing for something, hoping for something, wanting for something. It's about claiming from the quantum and using your mindset to literally achieve that. So one of the most important distinctions to understand with manifestation is how mindset rules everything. And when we think about mindset as a concept, like, we have to go into the depths of looking at, well, mind connects to the body, connects to the soul, connects to how we are operating as a human, basically. So we have our soul, our body, and our mind. And as I truly believe, and I've said this numerous times in the Mind Body Revolution series, is we have to establish the mind-body connection when it comes to physical goals. Because one of the crucial elements of manifestation that so many people misunderstand and don't fully grasp is the mind-body connection. It's one of the core elements of what I teach in many of my programs, especially the Soul Line Manifesting Circle. And one of the hugest points that I love to strongly emphasize is, if we are not connected to the body, then often a lot of the times that vision that we established in our mind kind of gets lost because it gets disconnected from the body. So when we think about how manifestation comes into form, we have the mind, the body, the soul, and actions we take. So whenever we go into any process of manifestation, the mind-body connection is always occurring. It's either we're in a place where we're disconnected from the body, or we're disconnected from the mind. So we're either too much in the body, where we're like hustling, or we're too much in the mind, where we're always in our heads, we're lost in the dreaming, we're lost in the fantasizing, we're lost in the vision. And so there's either a disconnect happening in the mind, or there's a disconnect happening in the body. And it's due to either one of those pieces being fully disconnected. So, which really means we're being disconnected from our soul truth. And so the mind-body connection works in relationship to fitness really, really powerfully and beautifully. And I mentioned this already in the Mind Body Revolution series. So if you haven't checked that out, and you are desiring to manifest fitness, I highly recommend that you check out that series. I'll leave a link down below. And what I really want to say here is the importance of understanding mindset with physical goals is incredibly powerful, because we've allowed ourselves to establish that mind-body connection. Sorry, I have a hair thing. When you think about the mind-body connection as a whole, we have the mind, the body, and the soul. And so the soul is our intuition, the body is our feelings, our emotional body, and the mind is our ego, our identity, our sense of self, and our mindset. So when we think about combining these things together, that's what really creates that alignment and that aligned action that everyone talks about. So how do we do that in terms of fitness? Well, my first step for you in understanding how you can connect manifestation with a daily fitness practice is to go into the mindset work first, because I think this really makes or breaks your habit in fitness. Because if your mind is disconnected from the body, then you cannot establish that full acceptance of moving into a new habit with your fitness, because the mind is disconnected from the body. So if you're either just using the body to manifest with fitness, you're going to hustle your ass off, burn out, and possibly not sustain the habit. Because, okay, so for example, say if you were wanting to lose weight, but you've never exercised in your life. Now, you're not going to suddenly get up and exercise 7 days a week and start running 7 days a week or start going to the gym 7 days a week. You will quickly fail because you have not trained the mind and the body to work together in harmony to sustain the habit. So it's the same thing. So when we only use the body to manifest, such as the feeling mind or physical hustle or just doing, what occurs is we tap into our mind. And then we hit up against our mind. And our mind says, this isn't possible. There's no way in hell I can lose weight. I am so not worthy. I'm so not deserving of losing weight. I'm not capable. And what occurs is a disconnection. And so that disconnection happens. You start going back to baseline, your previous habit of, I don't know, crappy eating or not working out or whatever. And because of that, you've entered into baseline thinking again. And you suddenly fall into the trap of not sustaining the habit of losing weight, working out, etc. So what occurs from this is you went back to baseline. Why did you go back to baseline? Because you didn't connect the mind to the body to sustain the habit. So when I'm talking about sustaining a habit, I'm talking about normalizing that habit. Like when we think about habits, this is really easy to get. When you think about a habit, you have a habit for brushing your teeth. It has now become so normal that more times than not, you know the right time when you're going to brush your teeth and you know exactly what you're going to do, and you do it almost on autopilot because it's so normal and so habitual that it's just normal. So when you go to get a cup of coffee or get a cup of tea every single morning, or drink your green juice every single morning, you know what you're doing and you're going to do it almost automatically because it's a habit. This is what I'm talking about. So if you want to establish a fitness habit with the power of manifestation, you have to sustain the habit until it normalizes. This is one of the coolest things that I've learned in terms of understanding how to make fitness into a habit, is you have to be willing to do it consistently in a way that sustains with mindset. So what's your first tip? Your first tip is to understand that you have to connect mindset to the body. How do we do that? It's very simple. You're going to create affirmations that fully support your fitness journey. So I love working out. I'm so grateful and happy that my body is fit, toned, and looks amazing. I love going to the gym each day. I love showing up for my practice. I love showing up for my exercise routine, etc., etc., etc. I could be here all day. But what you're going to do is you're going to set some intentions on why you love having exercise, why you love like showing up and making sure that like you're basically what you're doing is you're giving yourself a reward system. So you're telling your mind that these are all of the benefits of working out. So I'm going to focus on that first, because when I focus my mind on the benefits, I'm giving myself that reward kick, that dopamine hit of like, well, This is why it's important to work out. This is why I love to work out. This is why it helps my body to work out. This is why I love to show up and work out. So what happens is you're like, I love to work out because of that endorphin rush. I love to work out because it makes me feel healthy and amazing, and it gives me that happiness vibe that I wouldn't normally get from just sitting on the couch all day. I love working out and going on walks because it helps me see nature and it helps me get out of my head a lot, and I start to be more into a movement and a flow. Do you see where I'm going? So what you want to do is you want to create affirmations that fully support the fitness journey. So this can also look like, if you want to lose weight, then you don't focus on losing weight, you focus on affirmations that support your body. So instead you would say, I am tone, fit, and amazing, or I have a divinely healthy body, or I am always in great shape, not I am so grateful for losing weight, because that's an in-between state. So you don't want to focus on in-betweens or problems. We want to focus on solutions and end result goals. So that all goes back to your mindset. Now, here's what's cool about doing this with fitness. So now we can lock this in as we're going to use this mindset for our fitness journey. Now, because we've used those intentions, we've set those intentions for fitness. You know, it's like, I love Pilates. I love showing up to Pilates. Pilates is the best. Now our body is locked in and loaded to feel encouraged to work out. We feel inspired to work out. We feel motivated to work out. And so because of that, we've linked the mind to the body. Now, because we fed the mind the right information to embody fitness, now we have to get into the physical, right? So step 2 is consistency. How do we create consistency? Well, consistency with the intentions and consistency with the body. When are you showing up? Have you made a date with yourself? Show up. Give yourself dates. Give yourself times. Make it real for yourself. This is one of the easiest ways to manifest fitness. You have to, 1, use the right mindset, and 2, get your ass up and make the schedule. Make the schedule. Stay committed, because it cannot become a habit until you make it a habit. And how do you make it a habit? You make it a habit with consistency and repetition. So whether that's, I work out 3 times a week, I work out 4 times a week. And you want to start slow too. So if it's only 2 days a week, then it's 2 days a week. If it's only 1 day a week, it's 1 day a week. But the goal is to kind of make it into a practice so it sustains into a real habit. So because of this, we have the mindset to back up the action. Now we'll start to see that start to come into effect with how we show up. And because we're showing up from a different energy, we will now be able to sustain that habit even more. And then when it comes to manifestation, the next thing that we can honestly do is we can also look at, well, what are my limited beliefs around working out? What are my limited beliefs around fitness? Why do I believe I can't work out? Why do I believe that it's hard for me to work out? Why do I believe that it's impossible to work out? Because this will help identify why you're not willing to be consistent and show up as effectively as if you were to just randomly show up because you can. See, we have to realize that everything is a mindset thing. Everything going on is mindset. How we show up to something is due to the mindset we are giving it, due to our observance of it. So when we think about the observer effect and how the observer effect is always going on, we have to look at this in terms of, well, what is the mindset I am bringing to that situation? You know, it's like, are you in it to win it, or are you already expecting to lose? Because those are 2 different conversations entirely. Are you in it to win it, or are you already expecting to lose? When you look at how you show up in different behaviors, you can see how these mentalities will guide your actions due to the mindset that you brought to it. So in relationship to fitness and manifestation, you want to be setting those intentions to link the mind to the body. And from that place, our magnetism will naturally guide us to a more aligned, sustainable habit with fitness. So this is one of the easiest ways that we can use manifestation with our fitness routine. And so what's beautiful about manifestation is, we don't have to realize that it's just about wishing for something or wanting for something. It's a tool that we can use systematically in our daily habits. It's a tool that we can use on our daily goals, because when we set our mind up for success, then we are allowing ourselves to really crack open how we can receive in return, because we're not just haphazardly saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And instead, what naturally occurs is we're setting up our GPS, we're setting our compass up correct, and then we're feeding our mind the right information. So naturally, our observer effect, our perception of who we are, fuels that into our goals. And so this is what I've fully discovered with the Mind Body Revolution series, is when we don't do that, we will falter and either go back to baseline, revert our habit, revert the goal, or we will achieve the goal, but we'll be frantically exhausted and overwhelmed or overdoing or overcompensating, because the mindset piece helps us stay in alignment towards what we want in a way that is most beneficial to our personal well-being. So let's summarize what those tips are. So the 3 steps I would use to use manifestation with a fitness practice are: connect the mind to the body with mindset rituals. So you want to be setting intentions for your fitness practice, supportive intentions that really help your fitness practice. I love to work out. It's amazing for me to get fit and enjoy healthy living and healthy lifestyle, whatever. 2, what you want to do is you want to connect the mind to the body. And we do that with, oh my gosh, consistency. We do that with consistency. So number 2, you're going to do that with consistency and repetition. Schedule it in and make it real. The more we make something real, the more our subconscious can latch onto it. And the more we can latch onto that as real, it becomes real in our mind. And the mind doesn't know the difference between past, present, and future. So because of that, we inevitably will believe it and take action towards it. So it creates a sense of allowance. Number 3, we need to look at our limited beliefs around fitness so that we can be in the right mindset to keep going. So starting to look at the excuses that you're creating around fitness, starting to look at the complaints you have around fitness. Like, I know that this is one of those areas where it could be really easy for you or it's really hard. So I'm inviting you to look at those excuses into how you can consciously reframe them. What are some easier ways that you could look at those excuses and turn them into strengths, into opportunities, into possibilities, into solutions? How can you reframe those into a more positive outlook of how you show up for your fitness routine? Okay, so that was a lot to dive into. I hope you enjoyed this weekly video tip from the How to Manifest series. If you would like more where this came from, I highly recommend that you tune into the entire series. We have over 10 videos in this series now. What an amazing journey it has been to go through how to manifest in different areas of your life. I think it's so easy to get bogged down by thinking that manifestation is this, like, we can only manifest money, or we can only manifest a house, or we can only manifest like such and such. And instead we can start to see all the different ways you can use manifestation in your daily life. Okay, so I'll see you guys next week.